Welcome to Dr Joe Unplugged. This podcast contains general information and is not in any way medical advice. Ever seen the guys, or it could be women, out on their bikes at 6 or 7 o'clock on a weekday morning in a group? Turns out they're onto something, and maybe not for the reason you first thought. Now, obviously getting out and exercising is good, and whilst I'm not personally a bike rider, it's a very good form of exercise, and some people, really do enjoy it. Some people enjoy running, some people enjoy swimming. But group exercise is the key to this. And human beings are social creatures. Now, we like to do some things by ourselves, and some people are a bit more outgoing than others, but human beings are social animals, same as all the other primates. And I'm going to quote, starting an exercise regime with others can be a powerful fitness motivator, and new research spotlights the strategy's particular importance for older adults. In a randomised trial, this was published in JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, older adults who talked with peers about their exercise program were able to increase and sustain physical activity levels much better than those who focused on self-motivation and setting fitness goals. Self-focused or intrapersonal strategies tend to be more common in health and fitness than interactive or interpersonal ones, the studies note. Yet research is limited. Now, it's not either or. It's good to have your fitness goals. It's good generally to have goals in life, whether it's in your career or with your family, or whether you're wanting to travel, whatever it might be. And they're saying, I'll quote, "We're not saying that intrapersonal strategies should not be used," said the study author Siobhan McMahon, but the study shows that interpersonal strategies are really important. So what that really is saying, and I would think this would apply in any age group, but there's a particularly studied older people, and we do know that as people get older, they can be a little bit more isolated, and one of the most difficult challenges can be, is actually getting out of the house and getting started. Again, not saying that people, if they're older, they don't leave the house, and that's not what I'm saying. But the motivation to maybe start an exercise program or go to the gym, if you're a bit more lonely or isolated, can seem a bit harder. And we're all the same as human beings. We can get a little bit stuck in our ways. So what this work is saying is that if one can get a group session and encourage people to join that group, then a couple of things. Number one, they can tend to jolly each other along and motivate each other. And I've, again, got some personal experience of this with a group that I've been training with since January, and everybody just gets involved and, helps everybody out. A word of encouragement, well done, good on you, keep going. But also it's a commitment. And we can, as humans, be a little bit better at committing externally than internally. If I set myself that I'm going to go to the gym at a certain time and I don't get there, I can sort of shrug my shoulders and, I've got an excuse. If I've committed to other people that I'm going to show up at a certain place at a certain time, it's more likely that it's going to be in my diary. It's more likely that I'm going to do it, because my motivator is not only that I have to look at myself in the mirror and shrug my shoulders and say, oh, well, but I've got to say to these other people, why didn't I turn up? And look, maybe I've got a good excuse. I wasn't well that day. There may be reasons. But, really, it's more likely that if we're committed to a group that we will show up. And that's benefiting not only us, because we're ending up doing the exercise that perhaps we wouldn't have otherwise done, but it's benefiting them for the same reason. So it actually is collegiately beneficial. Again, it all has to be voluntary. You can't force people to do this. But what it tells us, and it's interesting when research catches up with what in some respects is intuitively obvious, that people like to get together. And a little bit like the cyclist group will often end at a coffee shop. So yes, we've been out and about, we've gone for a ride, we'll have a chat at the end and have a cup of coffee. An exercise group can do the same thing. And, it could be at the gym, or, people go to the beach. There's groups that do it 365 days of the year, go down to the beach, have a swim in the water, and then a cup of coffee, or, whatever your preferred liquid is or beverage after that. So it's good on a few levels. Number one, it gets us out and about. Number two, obviously good for our physical fitness to be doing regular exercise. And number three, as socialisation, and this is for anybody, but particularly are going to be beneficial in an older age group where there's a greater likelihood of some degree of isolation and loneliness. Really a very, very good way to go. Thanks for listening to Dr. Joe Unplugged. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like and share. You can also follow it on all the socials. There'll be new content uploaded each week.